Today, we got special guest Jessica Penne from The Ultimate Fighter Season 20. It's the all-women's season where they will crown a champion at the end of the season. First time that they've ever done it. Jessica Penne, you've done well on the show so far. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great today. Thanks for asking.
Well, that's what we do. We care about your feelings. So now you are the former Invicta, which we talked to Felice Herrig about yesterday. Invicta is the all-women's fighting organization that's also partnered up with the UFC. You were the former atomweight champion at Invicta. Do you think that kind of makes you a favorite going into this show?
I mean, I feel like in some people's eyes it'll give me an advantage, but to some people, because I am coming up a weight class, I think a lot of people see it as a disadvantage.
Now, do you feel that being the former Invicta atomweight champion, that's one of the reasons they gave you such a high ranking? I mean, you did come in at rank number 4.
Yeah, I was actually pleasantly surprised about that. I really wasn't sure where they would rank me because I'm a fighter. So I was really stoked about that. I do believe that is because I'm a former champion and a veteran, so it was pretty cool.
Now, you got to have a rematch with Lisa Ellis. It was one of the bloodiest fights in women's MMA history, and which she won. Now you, oh, I'm sorry, you won, but you also won the rematch. But the rematch wasn't anywhere near living up to the hype of the bloodiest match in MMA history. Like it seemed like she completely gave up. You got a hold of her and took the fight out of her almost immediately. Do you have any ideas why that might have happened?
You know what? Everybody handles the pressure of the show differently, and I mean, it's like any other fight camp you're ever going to be in, and I think it was a really stressful situation for everyone. Some people rose to the occasion, and some people didn't do as well as they would have. I just attribute it to the fact that I've been training really hard and been developing my skills, and I came in a different fighter than the previous one that she fought, and I shut her down.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things about talking about the training and adjusting to the show is earlier in a couple episodes, they showed specifically you complaining a little bit about how Team Pettis was coaching and some of the methods. You felt you're just being a little bit overcoached. Now, recently we talked to Rhonda Marks, and I've also read an interview with Joanne Calderwood, and they said that it wasn't as universal as they seemed to show it on the show, that it was actually only you that were complaining. How do you feel about them saying those kind of things?
I don't care what they have to say. Everybody handles it differently, and a lot of people were frustrated with that, and that's why we had a team meeting that they showed. If they didn't want to speak, about that, then that's their own thing. Everybody handles it differently, but I was feeling really overwhelmed adjusting to the show the first couple of weeks. That was our first training session, and that's just how I dealt with it, and I had to voice my opinions, and it got better from then on out, so I'm glad I spoke up for myself.
Well, that kind of leads us to another question, too, because they kind of edited it to make it seem like it was a universal idea that the coaching was difficult. How do you feel about other editing of the show? Now that the show is finally on TV, do you feel like they're doing you guys justice, or do you feel like they're editing it to their benefit?
It is what it is, honestly. Coming into that show, I knew that everything would be, possibly taken out of context and edited, for dramatic effect, edited to, make it go the way that they want to go. So I'm okay with however they edit it, honestly. It's out of my control, and I can't worry about it.
So is there anything you could tell us that maybe has happened that you feel was edited wrong, that you want to correct?
Yeah, because that kind of sounds like you're not super stoked with it, honestly.
No, I mean, I can't do anything about it, so why complain about it?
Okay, all right. Fair enough. What did you, when you were locked up in the house, though, for the however many weeks you guys are there, what did you miss most about the outside world?
Pretty much everything. I mean, everything, in everyday normal life, you're not getting. So it was difficult to kind of adjust to it first, but, you got used to it and you got into your room. So it was, listening to music and driving yourself places, doing things for yourself, being on your own time. On the show, you were kind of on, the production's time and the production schedule, and, they told you yes and no to things, so that was pretty difficult.
But apparently if you complain enough, you can get yourself a blender, and we were told that you guys almost got a puppy. Like, what?
Yeah, that blender was a very special blender. the production didn't actually get that blender for her. Her dad bought it for her.
It was like a Vitamix thing or something?
Yeah, it was a Vitamix.
Oh.
I had never heard of a Vitamix before, but Heather should be a salesperson for them because she really, really got behind that blender. And, I mean, she really pushed it. And she had everybody really stoked about this blender. I had no idea how awesome a Vitamix was.
She kind of turned me off to it because now I'm thinking that if I start drinking stuff out of a Vitamix blender, then I'm going to become a bitch.
Oh, that's not nice.
All right. On a different note, who do you think is going to win the World Series?
I have no idea who's playing in it.
Awesome.
What?
Awesome. It's the Giants. It's the San Francisco Giants.
I have no idea. I don't follow baseball.
It's the San Francisco Giants and the Kansas City Royals. But whatever. We'll just flip a coin on that one. Got one more question for you before we take off. Dodge, go ahead, man.
All right. It's a who would win in a fight question, Jessica. Who's going to win in a fight? A bear with machine guns for hands and feet, or a pterodactyl that poops chainsaws?
That poops what?
Chainsaws.
Chainsaws?
Chainsaws? Oh, bear for sure.
The bear with machine guns? Sure. Chalk one up for the bear with machine guns for hands or paws and whatever. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, so Jessica Penne on The Ultimate Fighter Season 20. Someone will be champion. A champion will be crowned. It airs Wednesday nights on Fox Sports 1. Make sure you check it out. Hey, Jessica, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.